We're just excited about all the program success.
We want to do what we need to do.
Thanks, Zach. Go Cards.
For Wheeling University Athletics, I'm Zach Ziegler. It's time for another edition of Between Two Props with head Wheeling University women's rugby coach Ken Pape. I'm Sports Information Director Zach Ziegler, going into week 3 of our Meet the Players series. And today, we're talking about the scrum halves, fly half, wings, and fullbacks. And Ken, our final series meeting these players. They're going to be here on Friday. Talk about the anticipation for this year.
I'll tell you, I feel like a kid on Christmas Eve. You know, I cannot get enough of this. I get up at 6 in the morning. I go to the gym. I'm hitting the gym hard. Obviously, it's hard to tell, but you know, I can't stop thinking about this. You know, it's a culmination of the last 3 months of us putting this together, and wow, it's super exciting. You know, this group of athletes. You know, they're what we call the playmakers and the finishers. You know, just to give you a little insight into what these positions are, the scrum half is kind of like the one of the playmakers. They start most of the plays off, and then you've got the fly half, who's going to kind of like quarterback where things are going to go, which direction, who's going to do it, how we're going to do it. The wings are really the finishers. You know, they're the people on the outside, and you want to get them the ball. They're usually the fastest people on the team. You get them on the sideline, and they're just going to pin their ears back and zoom down the sideline. And then the fullback is, generally speaking, the most athletic player in the back line. They are the last line of defense, so if somehow the team breaks through, the fullback's responsibility is to stop them from scoring. They're also usually somebody with a good foot. So if we get into a kicking game with someone, they can catch a ball, a nice high ball, bring it down, put a boot back on it, and send it down the other end of the field. You know, these positions are critical for the defensive side of the game.
And we're going to get started now. Let's meet some of the scrum halves and fly halves.
Yeah, so listen, this group is exciting because in the way we do business, the scrum half and the fly half, they're going to be kind of interchangeable in this piece. And then the fly half and the fullback, they're kind of interchangeable in this as well. So, you know, we're going to start off with the scrum halves. We've got a really interesting freshman coming in. Her name is Bailey Wheeler. Bailey's coming out of Aspetuck High School, who has been one of the powerhouses in the Northeast, beating some of the big squads like the Morrises and the like, and just really dominating up there in the Northeast. You know, Bailey's got a good rugby mind, always asking questions. She has had some really good coaching at Aspetuck. She's a really hard worker. You know, with a couple of tweaks, I really think that she's going to be pushing for some minutes, you know, straight away. And she's got a tough group to crack, you know, with some of the other scrum halves that we have and fly halves. She's going to really have to come out and prove herself. I know she's been working on her fitness in the offseason. She had a little bit of a sickness to start off the summer workout programs, but she did not miss a thing. She kept calling me, hey, Coach, I missed Monday because of this, but I'm going to make it up tomorrow, and then Tuesdays for Wednesdays. You know, so she's one of those people that's going to hold herself accountable, and she's going to really press to push herself into that rotation. Coming off of Bailey Wheeler, you know, I'm excited about this player. She's a transfer from Mount St. Mary's. Her name is Bree Schmitz. She's coming to us from Canada. She's a really fun player, exciting. She desires to play at the next level. So usually when you get a player that's an international caliber player like Bree, who has made comments time and time again that she wants to play at the next level, these are the players that are going to be in my office. They're going to be in the film room with me. They're going to come and want to meet with me. They're going to want to watch the film and learn the things that you know they need to be working on. Bree's going to be really pushing hard against the other scrum halves to see who's going to be that opening day starter. Bree's the kind of player as well. She's got good pace on her. She's got a smooth pass. And like I said, she's going to push for that starting job. But what's interesting about Bree is if we can't get Bree, if Bree's not going to start at scrum half, that doesn't mean that she can't start at wing. That doesn't mean that she can't start at fly half. We're going to put the best players on the field. And if Bree is one of those 15, we're going to find a place for her because she's that kind of a player. Really exciting. Which leads us to Miss Energy herself. This player is a ball of energy. Her name is Maya Alexander. Maya's from Wisconsin. She's extremely exciting. She has a super smooth pass off the base of the ruck. She's high energy. Okay, this is a kid, when you talk to her, you start jumping around. You get fidgety because she's someone that just is so excited about life. She's excited about rugby. She's excited about the opportunities here at Wheeling. She's got an amazing gas tank, so she's all over the field. And she's got a great attitude. Now, here's the thing about Maya that's really interesting. Last year, we asked her to step in and play a position she had never played before. She had never played scrum half before. She did a phenomenal job. She came in, she led the team to the national championship game where she had a pretty good game facing off against 2 Eagles. So she played against 2 women for Davenport that were capped for the U.S. Really hard worker, hard runner. She's someone who right off the top of the bat in a depth chart, you got to put her at number 1 for scrum half. But that, like I said, we don't know. Maybe Bree's going to come in. Maybe Bailey's coming to. We don't know what's going to happen. We're hoping that maybe Bree comes in and can take that, or Bailey can come in. Then we can move Maya to a different spot. Maya will be one of our top 15 players. We're going to find her on the field somewhere, and we're going to make room for her. She also can double as the fly half. Because she has that smooth transition from catching to passing, she's someone that we could put into that fly half position and see what kind of excitement she can generate from that. It's not a position that she's played regularly, but it's a position that I think with a little bit of training, I mean, heck, let's think about it. Last year she had 0 training at the scrum half position. We put her in there. Unbelievable performances. Okay, she was one of the top players on the team last year. This is a player that if I put her into fly half and we can train her a little bit on it, I know she's going to pick it up. She has a great rugby mindset. And like I said, the other thing about her is she has a growth mindset. She's always willing to learn. She doesn't care what position she plays. She always says, Coach, what do I got to do to get better? She's going to be in the film room with me. We're going to talk a ton. I'm just so excited about Maya. And let me tell you something. Just saying her name and talking about her, I feel like Maya right now, right? Like I'm excited. I'm jumping around the room here. So Maya's really excited. Fly half, scrum half, we're going to find out. Maybe center, we don't know. Again, it's all going to come down to what happens in training camp. If she comes into training camp, and I know she's going to be fit, I know she's going to be ready, it's all going to depend on how things bounce around. Which leads us to Bella Galata. Now, here's a player. She was a Notre Dame college transfer last year. She came into a position. She played fullback for us. But really, this is a top-level fly half. She's got an absolute cannon on her foot. You could be anywhere on the field, and this kid can absolutely drill that ball. She can kick it 60, 70 meters on the fly. Plus, with a rugby ball, the way that thing bounces, who knows how far that thing's going to go. Led the league last year in 50-22s. Just a super exciting player. Also, set the record at her previous institution for points scored in a game. She had 2 drop goals, which is, in this level, we don't see a ton of drop goals happening. Bella Galata came to me and she said, Coach, I want to try a drop goal. Boom. She did it. She nailed it. She missed her first attempt. We all know that's going to happen, right? But then hits attempts 2 and 3 as if it was nothing. She's got a super accurate foot on her when she's kicking for points or for penalties. In the national semifinal last year, she had the game-winning kick. She kicked it from the sideline about 40 meters out and drilled it right down the middle of the pipes for us to get that big victory. Again, here's the other great part about Bella. She's a hard runner. So at 10, usually you get a nice playmaker who can transition from catching the ball to passing the ball. But you don't know. Maybe Bella's the kind of player that you put the ball in her hand, she can run through a gap. She's deceptively agile, okay? You look at her, the way she's moving the ball, you think she's going to catch and pass, and boom, she throws a little dummy in there, and she's cutting back up the field. Super dynamic player. And another one, she's got great pace. Doesn't look like it when she's running, but because of her stride, she's making up massive grounds. I don't think last year she got caught from behind a single time. And let me tell you something. If she does get caught from behind, she's the kind of player that will break out of that tackle. She'll turn, look you in the eyes, put her hand through your soul, and make you drop the tackle. So really, another player. I feel like I'm saying I'm excited about every player because I am. These players are coming in and they're super stoked and ready. Another thing about Bella, she's going to be our backs captain. She's absolutely has earned that right. She's been calling me all summer. She is just a terrific person, has a good heart, has a great family behind her. Just super excited to see what happens with her. And, with her rugby IQ as well. She's calling me. We're talking about the new changes in the laws of the game. Just always thinking rugby. Also has a traveler's lifestyle. The whole summer, she's all over the country, all over the world. She went to Hawaii. She went to Myrtle Beach. She's all over the place. She's always traveling. So she's worldly traveled. Super happy and excited to see her. Which leads us to Tamsin Boyce. Tamsin is an international player. She's coming over from Ireland. She's played high-level rugby. She's played on the provincial side level. She tried out for the big club. She didn't get the nod this time, but she was right on the cusp. I think Tamsin coming in this year, we're going to help her. She's got just a couple of tweaks we got to make with her. She's extremely fast. She's got good pace. Like I said, she's got good pace. She's agile. She can juke you left. She can juke you right. Her catch pass is phenomenal. Her tackling rate is extremely good. With Tamsin, the thing that we need to work on is just a couple of little tweaks to her game. Her running lines, maybe, we can create some more space for her. But she's very eager to learn, which is important. She's got that growth mindset. She's asking me, Coach, what kind of attack system we're going to be running. We kind of talked about it at the last meeting. Tamsin's the kind of player that I know is also going to be looking for the knowledge. Like I told you before, international players that are looking to play at the next level, when they come to their college club, they want to learn. They yearn for this, okay? Tamsin's one of those players. She's going to come in for this year. She's going to work her tail off, and let's see what can happen over the summer for her provincially, and then we'll have her back next year as well. Great player, super excited. I don't know where I'm going to put her. I might put her at fullback. I might put her at wing. She could be a backup fly half. Tamsin has the skill set. She can do it all. And with her rugby IQ, it's not going to take hard for us to transition her from position to position.
And with a lot of these players, you're talking about high energy, hard workers, fast paced. Talk about how having that high energy is going to kind of help these fly halves and these scrum halves in the field.
Well, listen, here's the thing. Every play that happens in a rugby game, if you're a prop, you're a center, the next person that generally touches the ball is the scrum half. So they have to have a gas tank. They've got to be excitable. They've got to be like a Labrador dog. They've got to be just doom, 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 doom. They got to be everywhere. The fly halves are generally the second person to touch the balls, because you'll get the scrum half will dig the ball out of the ruck. They're going to pass it to the fly half. The fly half has to have read the field. So they've got to have that good IQ, and then they've got to be able to distribute, make a run, put a kick on, and that's why I'm excited to see what Bella's going to do out here. The energy level for these positions is extremely important. If you don't have the energy level, the game slows down to a snail's pace, and then you're letting the defense off the hook, aren't you? We don't want to let the defense off the hook. We want to keep an extreme pace. That's why we are so deep in these positions, because we want to be able to have somebody like Maya Alexander go out there and just fly for 40, 50, 60 minutes. Boom, we make a substitution, and we go with Bree for 20, 30, 40 minutes, or Bailey for 30, 40, 50 minutes. We don't want a pace drop off, okay? So we're going to make those substitutions. I don't expect our scrum halves to be able to play a full game. I don't expect our fly half to be able to play a full game. I want them to use up every ounce of energy during the game, and I think with these types of players, we're going to see that.
Currently watching Between Two Props with head women's rugby coach Ken Pape. I'm Zach Ziegler, and now we're going to move on to the next group, the wings and the fullbacks, as we get ready to talk about those positions.
Yeah, so the great thing about wings and fullbacks, and we just talked a little bit about Tamsin and Bella. They can play the fullback position. These players could also find themselves in a fullback position. The concentration on this group, again, wings. You want to be able to pin your ears back. You want them to fly down the sideline, so they have to have good catch. The catch pass skill set. They've got to be able to pin their, tuck the ball, pin and run, and find that space and listen, not be easily tackled. You're not always going to break it down the sideline and score, are you? I mean, if that was the case, we'd always give it to the wings and let them do their thing. They're going to get caught sometimes, but when they do, we need them to fight. Okay, we call it the fight or flight, right? We want them to fight. Somebody comes across and they make a big tackle on them. We want the wings to be able to stop this thing from just being an instant tackle turnover, right? We want them to get hit, absorb it, fight, let support runners come up. And I think with this group of wings, I think we're going to have that. We're going to kick off with an incoming freshman, Ashley Pacheco. Let me tell you something. Ashley's an exciting player who, listen, here's the thing about rugby. Nobody started off playing rugby in elementary school, did they? Right? Generally speaking. Now, you have a few players here and there who've been playing for 15, 20 years, whatever it is. What's exciting is the different backgrounds of players. Here's Ashley. Ashley comes in. She does pageants, okay, which is a huge thing. The amount of intensity and the amount of discipline it takes to be in pageants is just through the roof. Ashley has that, which is great. She's a fun player, okay? She needs a little bit of fine-tuning, but on the wing, we need to concentrate on two big skills, catching the ball sprinting with the ball, okay? We got to be able to time our runs to be able to catch that ball in a sprint and just get down the sideline. And I think she has the ability to be able to make that instant impact. She's already poised to make that monster impact. You know, I think this is a player that's going to be fighting really hard, okay? We have a group of about 4 or 5 people we're going to look at in the wing position. I think that she is poised to be able to make that opening day roster, and heck, she might even get some starting minutes out of this. We'll see what happens. Again, everything's going to come down to training camp. Everybody looks good on paper, right? You know, Mike Tyson said it best. Everybody wants to fight until they get punched in the face. You know, Ashley's that kind of player. We got to find out what we've got with Ashley. I'm really excited. I know what she can do. Let's see how it translates into college, but I think she's going to be just fine, and I think, like I said, she's going to be fighting for those minutes. Which leads us to Riley Bonds. Wow. I coached Riley 2 years ago as an incoming freshman. She had an off year last year. She took off from college to pursue some other things that she's trying to get herself into. Riley's the kind of player that is exciting. She has game-breaking speed. She has jukes on jukes on jukes. You have no idea where this kid's going. The best thing about Riley, though, is her attitude. She makes everybody around her better, not just as a rugby player, but as a person, a student, a friend, okay? Riley's the kind of player that you can build a program around. When I talked to Riley in the offseason, you know, all we talked about is we didn't even really talk a lot about rugby. We talked about the culture of this team. Riley's the kind of person that's going to come in. She's going to help build our culture. She's just such a fun, loving person. And, you know, she gets mad at me all the time, Zach, and I'll tell you why. I don't know. When I'm on the phone and I say goodbye to you, I say, all right, Zach, I'll talk to you later. Bye. She gets mad at me. She gets mad because she doesn't want me to say bye. She wants me to say I'll see you later because it's not finite, okay? Riley's the kind of person that cares about that stuff, and that's what builds the character of a team. Riley's somebody that I'm excited to watch play, of course, but I'm excited to see how she helps me develop the culture of this team, which is going to lead us to another culture builder in Liz Sinatra. No relation, okay? She has blue eyes, though, just like old Blue Eyes back home. She's a second-year player. Liz Sinatra last year contacted me in the summer, and she said, Coach, I think I want to try rugby, okay? And now she's already a varsity athlete at another – she played soccer. She's a varsity soccer player at another institution. She said, I want to try rugby. I love contact. I said, okay, well, let's see how this goes. We brought her in. It was like a fish in water. She picked up the game so quickly, and all she did was seek out more and more knowledge. Liz Sinatra's the kind of player that if you tell her how to do something, she's going to execute it. She's going to make it work. She's got great pace. Her tackling rate is through the roof, okay? She's got good tackle form most of the time. Sometimes she looks like a spider monkey, okay? I've seen her just absolutely jump on somebody, you know, like out of the wild. She's a fun player. When she runs with the ball, she puts a lot of pace on it. Last year in a few sevens games, she's scoring multiple times a game. Specifically, I believe it was against Guilford College. I believe she scored 3 tries in the game. Just a super player, fun, loads of energy. If I've had Liz for 3 or 4 years, this is a person that could be playing for the U.S. because she's got that kind of pace. She's got the kind of tackling rate that you look for in a wing. She has a good mindset. I think she could play other positions. Fullback might be a position we would think for her. Just an exciting skill set for her. You know, with the soccer ability, she can have the ball on the wing and she can put a little kick down the sideline if she needs to. She hasn't had to do that though, because every time she puts the ball in her hand, she's getting meters out of it. She's not a player that gets caught in the backfield. So we're really excited again. And I keep saying it, I know, and I'm so sorry that I don't have a better, more descriptive word for everybody. But that's all I am. I'm like excited. I'm a kid on Christmas Eve.
And looking at this group, a lot of explosion in this group. You have to be fast, you have to explode, make those big plays. And these players all seem like they can do that. Talk about that explosion factor that they bring and how they can kind of turn the game on a snap. Yeah,
so the best part of this group of athletes is we're going to break the gain line. And what's great about the other groups that we've talked about is once these explosive players break through the gain line, seeing someone try to tackle a forward in space, we call it flooding the area, right? So you have a big break by a wing or a center or, you know, a fullback or a scrum half or a fly half. When they break the gain line, we want to flood the space behind the gain line. And I think with this group of players, we're going to be flooding a lot. Okay, the explosive factor with this group of players is going to be next gen, right? We're going to be doing things on attack that's going to draw defense into a certain area so that we can attack a completely different area without them having any idea what's happening. And these are the kind of players with their skill set that we're going to be able to execute that.
And finally, we've met all the players. Now that all that's left to do is get them on campus. Once they get here, talk about your message to them for camp and kind of some of the goals you're going to be working towards.
Listen, if I know these players very well, and I can tell you they're all just as excited as I am. So it's let's live in the moments. Let's learn what we've got to learn, okay? Let's go through our paces. Let's follow the game plan. You know, rugby as a game, things change in a moment's notice in a game, okay? Same thing here. We're going to be making changes on the fly. It's being able to accept that changes are happening, okay? And I think with this group of players, we're going to be able to do that. You know, they're so excited to get into the locker room. They're so excited to get their kit on. They're so excited to get, you know, practicing. And I know how excited they are for that first Bronco because everybody's been working really hard in the off season. Right, so you know, coming out of the gate, doing some quick testing, you know, to see where people are at, and then being able to track that through the year, you know, it's fun. This is what we've been working for, and now with only a few days left, you know, getting everybody on campus and getting to that first practice, and you know, meeting your dorm rooms and your dorm mates and all that stuff. It's such an exciting time, Zach. I am so excited. I know you know that I'm excited. I keep telling everybody I'm excited. I don't know how to express it any other way. This is going to be great. Wheeling University, the purge is starting on Friday.
Thanks, Ken. We can't wait to see them out there and get this thing underway.
Let's go. Go Cardinals.
For Wheeling University Athletics, I'm Zach Ziegler.
We're just excited about all the program
We
success.
want to do what we need to do.
Thanks, Zach. Go Cards.